It's always hard to wrangle such a bunch of misfits, but we're doing pretty good, I
Yes.
think. We've been doing pretty good, I
Yes.
think.
All of us.
We'll see how that goes tonight. As a bit of a refresher for everybody, the pack that you see before you came into town, into Montreal, and was quickly ambushed by a group of hunters from a company called Aegis. Things went kind of sour. A couple of their members died, and in that in the ensuing aftermath of that encounter, they quickly embraced a few people to bolster their ranks, and only one survived, Miriam, the character played by Todd. They have since then been hiding out in a house in the east end of Montreal, awaiting, at first, awaiting reinforcements that were supposed to be coming, and then they were not coming, as apparently the leadership of the Sabbat has completely crumbled and disappeared. However, out of nowhere, an old friend, if we can call him that, of Alexander showed up with 26 humans who are in some sort of strange catatonic trance, and said that there was still a plan, told them that the plan now was to assassinate, for the pack to enter Montreal and to assassinate two members of the Camarilla there, a La Sombra named Vico and a Tremere named Elise Hausman. And in the ensuing soul searching, I guess, perhaps, that occurred amongst the members of the group, Laura's character, Kellen, went off to exact a little bit of vengeance on some nearby Aegis members, and unfortunately may have brought them home. We will see what is up with all that. Complicating matters is the fact that Miriam's girlfriend has been kidnapped and brought to the house, and is in a room awaiting her own, to find out what her destiny is in all of this. And finally, Alexander has had some choice words with his sire, and now is sort of in a situation of having to decide whether he will continue and do what his sire wants, or strike out on his own, or what exactly he will do. And that's what we're going to find out here tonight, as we launch into this third and final episode of our little Sabbat game. The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot. This is the Dead Land. This is Cactus Land. Here, the stone images are raised. Here, they receive the supplication of a dead man's hand under the twinkle of a fading star. Is it like this in death's other kingdom? Waking alone at the hour when we are trembling with tenderness, lips that would kiss from form prayers to broken stone? The eyes are not here. There are no eyes here in this valley of dying stars, in this hollow valley, this broken jaw of our lost kingdoms. In this last of meeting places, we grope together and avoid speech, gathered on this beach of the tumid river, sightless, unless the eyes reappear as the perpetual star multifoliate rose of death's twilight kingdom, the only hope of empty folk. Between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act, falls the shadow. Between the desire and the spasm, between the potency and the existence, between the essence and the descent, falls the shadow. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. All things have an ending. This is one of many, but it is theirs. Kellen, you found yourself tracking the Aegis hunters. You found a van with their logo. You saw a group, two young humans trying to take pictures of the inside of the van with their phones. Two soldier-looking hunters came out of the van and proceeded to shoot and kill, or you assume they're dead. In any case, they were shot and brought down the two youngsters in their mid-20s who had been trying to film inside the van. You felt the rage of the beast explode in you. You jumped them, you fought them savagely, you ripped one apart before they even had time to react, but the second one got some shots off. They were using some kind of weird flechette weapon that pierced through your jacket and ripped through your flesh. You managed to kill the second one also, but you found yourself wounded, and what's worse is you have found now a new lethargy in your blood. You have been finding it difficult to get your blood to surge, to get your blood to activate, to get your blood to give you the reinforcement and the strength that you need. You've come back to the house, and I would like you at this particular juncture, Laura, please, to give me a dexterity and stealth roll, and let us see how well you do in returning home.
Okay.
The degree of success will sort of decide how long you have.
Yeah. I know rousing the blood is going to be difficult, but this seems like a vital moment, so we're gonna just go with it. I've rolled twice, that is 2 successes.
Excellent. You're fairly certain that you weren't followed. However, as you approach the house, you hear in the distance a helicopter. It could be that helicopter is just passing by, but it could also be that it is part of the team that you just destroyed. You maybe hesitate for a moment between the risk of dragging them back to the house and not warning the rest of your pack, but eventually the strength of the blood bond, the vinculum, wins out, and you rush to the house, bursting through the door, seeing there your 3 pack mates. You expected 4, Clovis is not there, but you see the other 3 there, all in a very tense frame of mind. You can tell that things have not been going well here, and you bust through the doors and you announce,
I've got a helicopter. You're muted.
Chasing you, or you acquired one?
That would certainly be something. I can't tell if they're chasing me or not. I'm fairly certain they are not. They could just be in the area because that fucking hunter corp is everywhere.
We'll discuss what you did later.
Are you hurt?
Storyteller, how bad is it?
You'll have the equivalent of 1 wound and 1 hunger. And you find it very difficult to rouse the blood. You, from now on, when attempting to rouse the blood until further notice, are rolling at a disadvantage, as something seems to be diluting the power of your blood.
They fucking shot me full of something.
We don't have time for this.
Then let's fucking go.
Roz, I will rig the house. Kellen, Roz, they're looking for 5 vampires. Make sure they find them. There's those bodies in the driveway.
Oh yeah, you missed the party.
What?
Bite now, talk later. Look outside.
Miriam, did you feed her?
No, I'll do it now.
Do it and collect her.
As you all move to follow either your directions or heading out to see the bodies, there begins this throaty chant emanating from the front of the house. You realize that the bodies there, and Kellen, as you approach the window, you see the bodies of over 20 human beings, naked, all lying in the driveway, piled up one on top of the other. And this throaty, low moan begins to emanate from them and starts to reverberate and starts to fill the area around you as it rises in pitch and strength.
Huh.
It's a Wednesday. Just bite.
Right. I'm gonna rush out, grab one, and begin the process.
As will I.
And what are the other two doing?
I am rigging the house to blow on a fuse. I hope this place uses gas.
There's definitely at least an oil tank downstairs. And Miriam?
Miriam's going to the kitchen, and she's kind of foraging through the refrigerator for orange juice. And she's gonna pour it into a glass, and then she's going to
Are you making a tequila sunrise?
She is making a very bloody tequila sunrise.
It's a vampire, so it's tequila sunset.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, she like pricks her finger, and she doesn't know how much it'll take, but she puts enough in there that she like the color of it turns a little more red than orange. And then she's gonna walk down the hall to the room.
I want to say, Laura, you received a hail from Raven's Heart, so you have one more night move to add to your little thing. As we'll begin with Laura and Meadow. So as Roz and Kellen step outside, you see sitting on the handrail of the porch your friend Meadow. She is sitting there just swinging her legs back and forth. Kellen, as you approach, you see this woman sitting there. She is clearly not kindred. She is dressed in this black bodysuit with a heavy leather jacket over it. She has long black curls, and she just feels wrong as you look at her, as you take her in. There's just this sense of something alien and strange and wrong about her. Her legs are swinging back and forth as she sits there on the handrail of the porch. Quite the threnody little accompaniment to the evening's festivities. It's a sound that's not quite unpleasant, wouldn't you say, darling? And she looks at you, Roz.
I, again, wish I had time to deal with this, but I instead gesture between Kellen and Prudence, and I go, Kellen, Prudence, Kellen, I am busy now. I don't know what this means, but we have a plan that we need to execute.
Plan? What sort of plan? Are you leaving?
Why do you care?
Well, because I've been sent to help you, and so I'd like to know how I may do that.
Do you have a way that we can all escape safely and unnoticed?
Escape from what? You can't escape yourselves if that's what you're trying to do. That's a little bit beyond my means.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Kellen. We don't have the time. Fascinating, beautiful, scary, but...
You're very weak. Congratulations.
Listen, I have a type. Prudence, we're trying to get away from here. Physically.
She looks you up and down. You appear to have legs, and they appear to be functioning.
Yeah. I look her up and down as well, and I linger on her legs, and then I forcibly turn my body so I can run down and start biting the bodies.
Now, right? Really? Now?
I'm sorry. I didn't even say anything. I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to.
I bite into someone.
So you go down into the pit, and you see these bodies are all kind of squirming and moving, and they're just sort of rolling over and moving, almost like they don't have the strength to stand up or something. That throat sound is still coming from them, and it's quite unnerving. Now, it's about 3 a.m, which means you have about 4 hours of darkness left, but this is a residential area. That sound is getting quite loud. As you descend down into this pit, something you will notice, perhaps sort of putting it together for the first time, certainly Kellen, you will notice that on these bodies, each of them has the same mark or tattoo design on the arm. It is an inverted black triangle with the word Servium at the top of it. And now that you're flashing on it, you realize that Prudence has the same tattoo on her chest.
And this was the symbol that I was told to stay away from by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any loyalty to someone who worships nothing, so I'm gonna do what my pack says to do and what is in our best interest now. I'm going to try and turn up to 6 of these guys.
And Kellen, what are you doing?
I think there's a legitimate hesitation. Because if I'm remembering correctly, Kellen was also issued a warning about the black triangle. Shit. Fuck, we don't have time for this. And I will grab the nearest wrist and just...
And as you...
We don't have time!
And as you each grab a limb and go to bite into it, inside, Alexander, you want to rig the house. So give me a little bit of a rundown on what you attempt to do, where you go look, what you want to do in this particular instance.
I want to, using common, so Matt knows how to do this, but I'm not going to describe it on stream.
No.
I'm rating various household chemicals in order to rig up basically a hydrogen bomb next to the oil tank and put it in on the thing.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Would you mind giving me perhaps an intelligence and larceny roll? Or
Absolutely.
technology, which I guess would work out kind of the same way for you.
Matt, I have questions. I got a lot of questions.
Hey,
I
Barb.
was a chemistry nerd in high school. I don't know what you mean. 2 successes.
All right. So with 2 successes, you will go through the house, start finding chemicals, things of that nature. Now, given the type of house, this is the type of family they were, you managed to find pretty much whatever you need or some, viable substitute thereof. As you begin to descend into the basement to head to where the oil tank would be, the moaning and sounds come from outside stop, like on a dime, completely.
Just don't have time mixing things in glass bottles and setting things up and finding some matches.
You head downstairs. You find yourself easily enough. You get to the sort of little shop area. There's this old, massive oil tank there. You check it out and realize that they are using it so that there is oil in there, thankfully for you. You rig your situation. Now, you want this to be, what, a fuse, a timer? What are you kind of setting up with this?
Basically, once I mix two things, we have 3 or 4 minutes before it goes earth-shattering kaboom.
So is that the timeline you're giving yourself, 3 or 4 minutes?
Once I put slot A into tab B, we have about 3 or 4 minutes.
Just as you're about to put slot A into tab B, you hear a scream from upstairs. Strident, a woman's voice.
I put slot A and tab B aside, and I head upstairs.
You head back upstairs. As you go up the stairs, you see a figure appearing in the doorway. The woman who was just outside, the woman that came with Turk, is standing at the top of the doorway, and she says, "I do hope that wasn't you screaming that way. It doesn't seem to fit with the overall aesthetic that you're presenting."
Very clever. I too can do that. Where did that come from?
She's still standing like at the top of the doorway, kind of blocking your way up. From one of the rooms down the hallway.
Miriam. And I try to push past.
She's not going to stop you. She's going to move aside and let you go through. She's like, "We haven't really met yet," as you're walking down the hallway. "We should probably take the time to..." And as you turn and reach the door where Miriam went, Miriam, inside the room, you approach the door. You see that, much like you a moment ago as you were mixing this tequila sunset, Alexander was behind you mixing a whole different cocktail. One with, I don't know, more serious, less serious ramifications? Kind of hard to tell at this point.
It depends who you ask, I suppose.
What do you do?
I take my drink that I've made and I walk to the room in question. I carefully, slowly open the door to not scare her more. Close the door behind me once I'm inside.
She has sat herself up on the bed. She is still bound. I'm going to assume that she was bound with her hands in front of her and not behind her back, but she is sitting up. Her hands are bound. She's sort of looking very dejected, looking down at the floor. Even when you walk in, she barely kind of looks up and registers what's going on.
I approach the bed, and I sit where she can see me. I'm holding the glass in my hands. But
what happens now?
everything's going to be fine. There's some stuff going on, but you don't need to worry about that right now. I brought you something to drink.
She looks down at what you're offering. What's in there?
It's orange juice. We don't really have much in the way of variety.
What's happening, Miriam? What are you doing?
I promised that I would explain everything, and that's still true. I will, but it's complicated, and it'll take time, and we really don't have a lot of that right now. People are coming, people that want to hurt me, that will hurt us. We need to go. But I just wanted you to have this first. I don't know how long you were in a trunk. I didn't want that to happen.
I think it would be best if you just left me here.
I can't.
Yes, you can. And that's what you're going to do. I
Then
don't know at all what's happening. I don't understand. I probably never will. And what's more, I don't think I want to. I think I just want to wake up tomorrow in my own bed and pretend like you met someone else and left. And it will take some time to get over that. But I will, in time. And you won't call me, and I won't try to find you. And you will go and live whatever life seems to be that you want. And that will have been our story.
I wanted that to be our story. I wanted you to just be able to forget about me and move on with your life. I wanted that. But you did what you would always have done, which was try to find me. And now you're here, and they won't let you leave. They can't. There is no forgetting. There's no moving on anymore. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please just drink this.
She
Please.
reaches out and grabs it and spills it on the floor. And drops the glass. It doesn't shatter, it hits the carpet. It's not kind of house that would have carpet on the floor.
Yeah. I'm trying to make things easier for us. I need you to trust me.
I think that's impossible. There was a time, Miriam, where I would have forgiven you anything. I would have accepted any explanation, any excuse. There was a time when there was light in your eyes. And now, all I see is a bottomless pit. If you can't let me go, kill me. Otherwise,
You
just let me go.
don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know, and you won't explain yourself. You won't tell me. You talk in riddles. You talk around everything. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that you are afraid to tell me the truth. You are afraid to tell me what is really going on. And if you are afraid to tell me that, but still want to bring me into it, that makes me really, really suspicious of your motives.
My motives. Keeping you alive is suspicious now. Wanting to save your life, that's suspicious.
I don't want to live at any cost. There are costs that are too dear.
Nothing is too high a cost if it means you live. Nothing.
That's for me to decide. She gets up now and she offers her hands, which are bound in a zip tie. Cut these loose.
Miriam pauses for a while. She stands in front of Lohan. I wish it was for you to choose. And in one fell moment, she's going to cut open her palm, reach forward, and press her hand against Lohan's mouth and hold her there.
You grab her, cut yourself, grab her, bring your hand to her. She screams. The scream is stifled for a moment as your hand goes over her mouth. And then you see from the corner of the room where there are shadows, you see these tendrils, these tentacles that lash out, these tentacles of darkness that lash out, wrap around her, pull her away from you. She screams loudly as she's pulled away from you, your blood dripping from her mouth. Give me, please. Dexterity plus athletics roll.
Yeah, okay. Athletics. That is one success.
All right, I got a crit, unfortunately for you, and you notice as she's pulled away from you, you notice that what you thought was a shadow on the wall is actually what looks like a door, a dark door that has been painted on the wall. And as you hear the scream of Lohan as she's pulled away from you, you sense something moving over your shoulder, and you look up and you see Clovis. And he says, "I'll bring you back, don't worry." And he pushes you, and you fall towards this door, and you go right through it. And you disappear into utter darkness.
Okay.
Outside, the two of you step amongst the bodies, each grabbing a limb. And as you bend down and bite, all of a sudden, the howling, moaning, whatever it was, stops, as if someone has turned off a switch. The bodies all go inert. You bite into them. They taste dead. They taste the same as if you were to bite into a corpse. You can tell they're still alive. Their pulse is faint, but they're still alive. Their blood tastes old and musty and disgusting, like exactly as if you were to try to feed off of a freshly made corpse or a day-old corpse or something like that.
Question.
Yep.
So it's this. I'm getting a little meta with the narrative. I apologize.
That's all right.
Do we actually have to drink the blood, or can the blood just be expelled from the body?
It just has to be expelled from the body. In order to create a vampire, you don't have to drink it. You just have to empty it and then fill it with yours.
Yeah, so we're Kellen's gonna start treating this like you have to, like, siphoning gas out of a car, just suck.
So if you're not drinking, every one you create is gonna cost you 1 hunger. And in your case, because you have that weird thing in your blood, it's actually gonna do 2. Well, I'll be nice. I'll give you a roll. You're gonna make a D10 roll for every one you do, and if you succeed on D10 roll, it costs you one hunger, and if you fail, it's gonna cost you 2 hunger.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna siphon the blood until I can't do it anymore, and then we're just gonna go for it.
So what's gonna happen when you siphon this blood is just that it's not nourishing. You will physically get the blood, and so it will help you create blood to give back to them. It's just not gonna sate your hunger or give you anything. It's like drinking dead blood, basically.
And it's gross.
And it's
gross.
It's quite gross. It's really gross.
Rock and roll, baby. Let's go. I'm absolutely powering through. I don't think it matters to Roz. I think it's gross and she hates it, but that's kind of the point of life at this point.
How many do you intend to try and create?
Alexander said 5. So I'll do 3, and if Kellen can do the other 2, because I know Kellen's already dealing with some injury, I'll try and compensate for that.
Okay. So 3 and 2. No problem.
Cool.
You're going to be at this for a little bit.
Okay.
Gross. Fucking gross.
Alexander, inside the house, you heard a scream. You came upstairs. You walk down the hall. You get to the door where Laurent is being kept. You can hear her sobbing from behind, and you hear, "I'll bring you back, I swear." What do you do?
Do I recognize Clovis's voice?
Yes.
I barge into the room.
The door appears to be pretty staunchly blocked, so I'm going to have to ask you to give me a strength and athletics roll, unless you have some degrees of potence.
I'm going to blood surge.
Go for it. We love that. Clovis did nothing wrong.
I get hungrier, but given my blood potency, I was at hunger 0 though, so I'm doing good.
Okay. Yeah, because you ate the husband of Miriam's partners.
I had a human burrito before I showed up. Given my blood potency, that gives me 4 more dice. So, I'm sorry, 2 more dice.
Go for it.
Two successes.
2 successes. You barge through with some effort through the door. You put your shoulder into it, you give it a shove, it doesn't really move, you pull back, dive back into it, it kind of starts breaking and pulling back. There's definitely something kind of holding in. The third shot that you give it breaks through. You enter into the room. You see Laurent being held by dark tendrils up in the corner. She is screaming and is being held by that. You can see Clovis has just thrown blood on the wall. And there appears to be this strange sort of door-shaped shadow that's on the door. And he turns around and he sees you. And he says, "If you do anything to me, she dies."
Which one dies?
Well, probably both, but definitely Miriam.
Clovis, you need to explain yourself very quickly to convince me that a mortal and a fledgling are worth more than killing you.
If that's what you want to do. But I don't think you want her to go. And I am very happy to bring her back. But you have to listen to me.
I'm all ears.
I've been trying to tell you all. This is where it ends, Alexander. There are no other options. The other options are unfathomable. The pack breaking up, some of us dying, some of us living, some of us going off to join your sire in some whatever cockamamie scheme is going on. No, we are a pack. We are a Sabbat pack. We have drank each other's blood. We have shed blood for each other. We have killed and lived together for all these years. And if it ends for all of us. And this is the only way it goes, Alexander. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. Everything is ending. So we end together, like we did everything else together. Or Miriam alone goes. I am doing this for us. You don't want to see the pack fall apart, do you? You don't want us to split apart. You don't want to see us killed one by one by these hunters that Kellen's bringing to our doorstep, or whatever goddamn bullshit your sire's been cooking up. This is
I plan on killing Anabelle as a traitor.
And you're going to do that how, Alexander? You're going to do that yourself? Because the others are not going to go. The others are not going to go and do this. They all have a foot out the door already, one way or the other. You're going to be alone, Alexander. No one is going to go with you to do this. If we end it here tonight, we all do it together.
And what ending are you proposing?
The sun's going to come up soon. There's fire to be had.
No. Such is not an ending for the children of Cain.
That is the only ending that comes to us all, Alexander. You know it as well as I do. There is nothing. It's all ending. The elders are awakening. They will eat all of us, and then they will turn on each other. And in the end, there will be nothing left.
If my fate is to die at the hands of the elders, I will grip their throats and make sure they choke on me.
So full of hubris. You really think that you can do that, Alexander? You've been a great pack leader. You are smart and capable and powerful in your own way. But what are you? What are any of us compared to the horrors that are rising right now in the fields of Gehenna?
We are children of Cain, and we will die glorious deaths.
You'll die a glorious death alone, separate from everybody else that has shared your blood. Is that what you want? I don't understand that. We have been so close. We have done everything together. Let us end it together.
Brother, my friend, you have forgotten what it is to be Sabbat. You have forgotten what it is to believe. Whatever happens, the night itself shall witness it. And that is enough for me. I have watched many die in our crusades, in our sieges, in our campaigns. I remember each death. And at the very least, our enemies will remember us. We will make the bastards remember us. And we are not going to die by some petty suicide.
It's not suicide, it's embracing the inevitable. It's fulfilling the prophecy of the void, which is the only thing that is left for all of us. We are creatures of consumption. That is all we do. We consume and in turn have to be consumed. That is the order of things.
We are not mere consumption. We are not mere hunger. We are passion. We are the night. We are that which is unmoving. We are immortal, and we will make people remember our acts. Even if only our enemies remember our faces, they will remember us. So if you want death, follow me and I will give you a good death at the hands of those who deserve to kill you.
A good death. A death is a death. There is nothing good or bad about it. It is just the natural ending of things. And if you wish to make a decision for the others, fine, but I suggest we bring them in and ask them how they feel about it and see how many of them are willing to follow you into this crusade.
Certainly. Bring Miriam here first.
No.
Very well. I walk over to the window and I smash it.
Shatters.
And I look over to Roz and Kellen and I say, "Come here now."
I run.
I will jump, honestly, because I can. I'm strong as shit.
Strong as shit, yo. Meanwhile, inside the little hole of darkness, as the two of you rush back inside your little prison, there is absolutely nothing, Miriam, except your own thoughts. What are your thoughts as you find yourself now in this absolute, but I always say this to people and they think I'm completely nuts, but I don't know if you've ever laid in bed at night and tried to imagine that you don't exist and then you scare yourself. That's exactly what this feels like.
Okay. Feeling pretty bad, to be honest. I think the last thing she saw was Lorraine being ripped out of her grasp. And there was this awful, terrifying fear that she had just done this thing, this unchangeable thing for nothing. That she tried so hard to make something happen, and it was just pointless and useless. And she feels pointless and useless. She can't even feed someone her blood properly. She is a terrible vampire, and she was a terrible human being. And it's all so stupid. And she's so scared that she's never gonna get out of here.
Seeing Lauren, seeing the woman you love being in danger like that reminds you of a certain incident that happened last summer. You remember being at work when you got a text from her, and it was one of those texts that starts with, "Okay, don't panic, everything's all right," so that immediately made you panic. She explained in the text that a disturbed patient at the ER had stabbed her with a soiled needle that they had brought in with them. She was urging you, of course, not to come to finish your shift, that she was being well taken care of and that they were just running tests to make sure that everything was all right, but you arrived at the hospital. They knew you, so they directed you pretty quickly to where she was, and you found her lying on a bed, a bit drawn, in an emergency room bed. There was an IV pumping something into her. She had some bloodied gauze on her neck. I told you not to come. Weren't you working?
They can cover for me. Frankly, they're happy to cover for me. What the hell happened?
Just be careful. I'm okay. We are in one of the best hospitals in the city. I am surrounded by professionals. I'm fine.
Professionals my ass if they let you get stabbed.
Well, it's not like anyone was expecting it to happen. He came in near catatonic, and we brought him in, and it wasn't clear exactly what had happened to him. The paramedics, and she gives you a look, had found him lying on the street, so they brought him in. And he suddenly came to and got agitated, and I turned around to call for security and some help, and I felt this sting in my neck. And next thing I know, a couple orderlies had jumped him, dragged him to the ground. I saw the needle clattering to the floor. It was very clearly a very well-used needle.
And you wanted me to stay at work.
What are you going to do? Just sit here and wait with me for the test results? It can take up to 5 hours.
And rob you of my delightful company? Why would I do that?
I'm just real disappointed you didn't bring donuts or something.
Well, next time you get stabbed in the neck, I'll be sure to remember donuts.
Would you? I mean, that would definitely perk me up. And she moves over and makes room for you on the bed.
Yeah. Miriam very easily climbs into the bed next to her.
She interlaces her fingers with yours. It's worse than waiting for the little stick to turn blue or whatever straight people do.
Yeah. This is a little worse.
Well,
Just a little.
sure it'll be fine. It's the worst that can happen. A little Hep B,
Do you
a little
really
Hep
want
C,
me to go down that list?
whatever it is. We'll take precautions. It'll just be in the blood, not in my heart and soul, Mir. There's only you in there. So stick with me, we'll just take whatever precautions we need. I'm sure I'll be fine. It's just a little prick.
You sure there weren't any drugs in that needle? Maybe some meth or heroin that makes you particularly cheesy?
Well, now that you mention it, you could have brought some squeaky cheese. That would have been a great little snack.
I'll
Who
add
visits
that.
someone in the hospital and doesn't bring snacks? Have you tasted the food here?
No, I know. I'm the worst. I'm terrible. I'm the worst girlfriend ever.
The worst girlfriend ever. And she moves like she's gonna give you a kiss, but then thinks a little better of it and just puts her head on your shoulder.
Miriam kisses the top of her hair and leans her head against hers, and
We're gonna be okay.
she's rubbing the knuckles of Lynn's hand, and she nods. Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. But she's inside. She's so angry that someone hurt her.
And that anger fills you up when you're in that little dark room. Someone hurt her. You were about to hurt her.
No, I wouldn't. I wasn't. I was protecting her. I was trying to save her. That's not the same.
And you think that, but there's no echo, no sound, nothing. Just emptiness and void around you.
I think Miriam screams into the darkness.
You can't even hear yourself. Back in the house. Kellen, Roz, you come running up. You see Prudence leaning against the wall, watching you come in. Done snacking already? At least it shut them up.
Okay, all right.
Keep running.
Yeah. We don't have time for her bullshit. What the fucking...
As you
Oh
run
my God.
past and head into the room, you hear her voice saying, "They're starting to move." As you turn the corner and find yourself in the room facing the back of Alexander and Clovis in the corner, you see Laran, Miriam's girlfriend, held by these black tentacles of shadow up in the corner. Miriam is nowhere to be seen. There is kind of this weird shadowy door that's drawn on the wall with blood dripping down it.
Alexander.
I turn around, and once they're inside, I grab Clovis by the neck and pull my knife out.
He lets you do it.
Tell them what you told me you want to do.
Well, first, you should know that if I die, so does Miriam.
A fledgling dies if I get the joy of killing you. So noted. Keep
I
talking.
realize you haven't killed me yet.
I have a pronounced and unfortunate sense of fair play.
He looks over at the two of you. Alexander here wants to keep the dream of the Sabbat alive, go on some crusade to kill his sire, and would like you to go with him.
Great. When do we leave?
And?
That's it? You're just going to up and do that? You're not going to take this opportunity we have here?
We are a fucking pack.
No, we are not. There are two of us that are gone. They're gone.
I fucking know that!
I suggest we return to them.
Is he serious? Is he fucking serious? And I'll say this to Alexander.
As serious as sin.
And why haven't you drained him yet?
Because he's kidnapped Miriam and thrown her into the void. You have your answer, Clovis.
I think the rest of you have your answer. Alexander won't kill me and end this because he cares for this new one so much. He's willing to put your lives at risk, even.
Alexander.
I push him towards Kellen.
He looks at you and says, I'm ready for whatever you're going to do.
I'll look to Alexander. Are you sure?
You know, I'm willing to take the chance you're bluffing, Clovis.
There is no one that can bring her back, not even another La Sombra. No one can.
And if you
Except
haven't
me.
brought her back by now,
I've had no reason to.
What reason do you need?
I want us to go out the way we have lived together. As a pack, there is nothing left for us here. There is nothing left for us. And I want us to face this reality and do the only sensible thing and rejoin those of us who have gone.
And if we say no, you kill one of our pack members.
I insisted we performed the Voldery. I am devoted to this pack, to each and every one of us. I just
then
want us...
release the new one.
is your last act on this earth going to be one of hypocrisy, Clovis? Of denying the choices others have chosen to make? Is that going to be your final moment? Or are you going to die well?
You see that there's something going on. Your words are having an impact on him. He seems to be a little more unsure than he was a little before. And as he's sort of contemplating this, you hear Laurent's voice coming from the corner. It says, "What the hell are you? Who are you people? What have you done to Miriam? Why have you taken her from me? Why have you taken her from her life? Why have you taken her from her family, from everyone who loves her? You sit here and you talk about being a pack and being bonded and loving each other and being together, and you've taken Miriam away from everything and everyone that was her life, and you pretend to care for her? What kind of beast are you?"
Can I?
Kind sweetheart.
I look at her. You said she's like up in a corner, wrapped up in these shadows. Yeah. I look up at her and I say, "Silence." And I compel her to shut up.
And she does. You can see she's trying to. We
cannot have humans interfering in grown folks' business right now. I look to Alexander, and then I look to Clovis, and I realize that now, one of the first conversations we had when we got here to Montreal, when we were hunting, Clovis had been asking me if I was feeling the same way that he was feeling. I had brushed it off, because I'm not very good at connecting that way. But now I look at Clovis, and I take full stock of him, and I go, maybe you are right. Maybe we are going to die and this is the end, but you are my brother. The worst one I have, and I will not kill you if I don't have to. Fight with us. Please.
You hear shuffling in the kitchen, people moving about, and you hear Prudence's voice. "That's it. That's long enough. He has to die. We have to go. Kill him and be done with it."
Kellen, reclaim him.
Yes, sir. And I will yank his head to the side and dig my fangs into his throat.
As you do that, you bite. I'm just clarifying. You're biting into Clovis's neck.
Mm-hmm. With the intention to diablerize.
Excellent, my friends. A lot's going to happen here in the next few moments, so we will begin by rolling some initiative because a lot is about to happen.
What do you want for our dex rolls, storyteller? Dex and...
You're gonna make a dex and... I mean, it's... Actually, yeah, look, roll dex and wits, actually. And then odd.
May I blood surge dexterity?
You certainly may.
I do not get hungrier.
Do I also have to do that?
No, I'm not going to let you rot in there.
I don't know. You could.
Oh, maybe I will then.
She's in the void. She's in the hole.
I got 3 successes.
5 successes.
Excellent.
It was dex and what? One more time?
Wits.
I have also blood surge, so I'm at 4 hunger now.
Did you roll your... oh no, so did you do your rush check with a penalty? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're at 4 hunger now?
Yeah.
Oh. I like it when it gets complicated. And you had how many successes, sorry?
I had 2.
Sorry?
I had
Me?
2.
Yeah, sorry, I was
know
asking Laura.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
2 successes. And sorry, there was 3 for Meadow?
Correct.
It's Alexander. Ready to go. In fact, Alexander, you go first at the same time as Prudence. What is your dexterity?
It is 4.
So Prudence will go first. You hear her sigh deeply, and she says, well, that's enough of that. We have work to do. And before your eyes, you see her change and shift, grow as her limbs extend, her bones snap and rearrange. The costume that she's wearing disappears. Her hair starts to grow. The fur, matted, black, rotten in so many places, starts to sprout. Her muscle mass quadruples, quintuples. She grows so much that she is almost bent down into this passage in front of you, and this ginormous Krynos, Black Spiral Dancer, stands in front of you, and you can see is eyeing Clovis very specifically. And I think that's a great time for us to take a break. So hold on to your initiatives, and we will take a little break here so as to not interrupt this mid-flow.
Don't act surprised, Laura.
We are live, my friends. On that note, one of the things that is well known is that the green rooms here at Folk&Myth are always a little out of control, and this one,
Unserious.
This one, is,
Unserious.
Yes, we do some really dark stuff up here, and then we go in the back, and then we goof off like the goofs that we are. And apparently, there is one thing that Sting and David Bowie have in common, and it's Matt.
People need more Matt lore, apparently.
That's right. We're going to need a whole wiki. Matt wiki. Just before we left on our little break, things had gotten a little weird with Miriam being tossed into an oubliette. The pack, who would have become probably the pack priest, wanting the entire pack to commit ritual seppuku, and a Krynos, Black Spiral Dancer, showing up, who's got no patience for this dilly-dallying around, has stuff to do, and would like you. Oh, also, there's like a whole bunch of new vampires that are walking around the kitchen right now, a bunch of naked vampires. So, it's just a regular Sabbat night out here. And we had rolled initiative, and we were just about to get to Matt, however, because I am the king, apparently, of the Bleak block. Let us begin with Ross. A little earlier, Roz, you had the moment yourself to contemplate things as you were waiting for everyone to sort themselves out and waiting to see what would happen. As you were thinking about what was going on and some of the things that were being talked about, perhaps even what Clovis had said, or whatever ideas were being floated around, you couldn't help but take Miriam into account. Miriam, who was embraced a few nights ago and has kind of been thrown into the thick of it suddenly. You maybe have been a little surprised at how well she's taken to all of this. And I think you remember you yourself not taking so well to it. You remember being at university when you'd been turned by your sire, and it had not gone well at first. You had been having a lot of difficulty adapting to the idea of what had been done to you and what it meant to you. Within the context of Roz and who Roz is, what was going through her mind at that time about this sudden turn of events of suddenly being plucked out of nowhere by this stranger who had decided for her that this was the life she would lead from now on, and being taken out of everything that she knew? What had Roz felt at that moment about all that?
Roz felt robbed. I had so much potential, and I had so much to do. Many of those things that had to be done in the fucking daylight. And without any questioning, not even the decency to have an interview process, I was ripped from my academic studies on my straight shot to pure success. I knew I was going to be something. And then I was something else. And I didn't take too well to it at first. It took a while to come around to some things.
You remembered a specific night, a few nights after your embrace, not too long past the point where Miriam is right now, in fact. You remember having felt the lowest you had felt so far about all of it and questioning what you were going to do. You were at the university and you'd found your way to the top of the bell tower in the quadrangle, sitting up there very late into the night, almost morning, 5, 6 in the morning, knowing that any moment the light would start to change. It would get magic hour, that strange little moment in time where it's neither day nor night. And you knew that that would be the moment when decisions would have to be made. And you heard footsteps coming up the old rickety wooden stairs that lead up to the very top of the bell tower. And your sire, Aster, had appeared as always, dressed impeccably in almost what looked like a priest's robe, where he usually wears a black shirt with a long black coat. He is very trim, very ramrod straight at all times. You watch him climb up and come and stand next to you. Do you miss the sunrise already? It's been but a few days.
When did you start to miss the sun?
I don't remember. It's been a very long time.
Maybe you didn't get all the human out of me.
That's a very tenacious stain. It takes quite a while to remove that, but it will, in time, fade away and disappear. There are things ahead for you that will ensure that.
And if I sit here?
All of that will be gone. All of what you might still achieve will be gone.
Achieve? What am I supposed to achieve? Look at me. I can't even... Half of everything is gone.
And more than half is gain. In fact, Roz, everything is gained. Everything. You mourn what you had. And I understand that. You feel you've been robbed. You feel that your future, your potential, everything you might have accomplished has been robbed from you. But I have, in fact, given it back to you. It had been robbed before you met me. It had been robbed at the moment you were conceived in your mother's womb.
What are you talking about?
You visited the clinic a little over a month ago with abdominal pains.
Stress from exams. It happens all the time.
He reaches into his vest and pulls out a couple of folded papers. I assume you'll be able to read and understand these, and he hands them to you.
She flips through them as, kind of dismissively until her brain starts to catch up to what she's seeing. And she reads it again. And she looks up at him. Is this mine?
You had 2, perhaps 3 months left.
I was gonna die.
Everything would have been taken from you.
So what? I was gonna die, so you killed me first, and I'm supposed to thank you?
You don't have to thank me. You don't have to do anything but be the very best that you can be, which is all I will ever require of you. But, Roz, you now get to do things. You now get to continue. I am no tyrant. If you wish to stay up here until you see your last sunrise, I will not interfere. You have the right to decide. But everything was going to be taken away from you, and you now get to decide whether or not it is. And that is probably the last time in your life that you will get that chance, and almost no one gets that chance. You're brilliant. You're capable. If I did not feel that you deserved this, I would not have given it to you, regardless of what was happening. I did it because I felt that what we would lose. So, you have a choice.
She looks at the papers and begins to crumple them up in her fist. And she looks out over the entire campus, seeing the sky starting to lighten in the distance. And she says, I was going to be great. Will you teach me how to be better than that?
Be in my study tomorrow at sundown, and I will teach you how to be greater. And he turns and walks down the stairs, his footsteps echoing and fading away.
I think Roz strikes a match and burns the papers in that tower that morning. And on the way down the stairs, she's made her decision to keep going. The sound of her stress ball on each step as she descends is in Aster's cadence, and it always has been.
Alexander, a little earlier tonight, when Miriam was off talking to Lorraine and Kellen had disappeared and Clovis was, well, up to no good, as you now know. And as Roz was outside, you found yourself with that strange moment that occurs sometimes in the most chaotic of situations. That eye of the storm, that moment where suddenly, all of a sudden, everyone is gone and left and the noise has died down and you know it's gonna come back. But there's this one serendipitous moment of peace. And that's when the door opened and your retainer, Joseph Creed, walked in, started puttering about, picking up the plate that Turk had left behind with the sandwich, throwing out the remains of the meal, putting the dishes away, humming as he always did.
You took your time finding us.
I'm sorry, sir. It's quite a long drive from Quebec City. Is it finally the end, sir?
The end?
Yes. You must be relieved. You can finally ditch all these losers.
You speak out of your turn.
I know, I've always been very cheeky, haven't I, sir? And he continues puttering about and he cleans around you.
These losers have fought with me and will fight with me till the ends of the earth. These losers have been chosen. They were chosen for the embrace, and they were chosen by just sheer natural selection. They are fine canines.
Isn't it all a bit of a lark, though? I'm not doubting their credentials, but isn't this whole friendship that you have somewhat artificial, brought about by the artificial means of this ritual? It doesn't mean anything. It's not genuine, is it, sir?
What does genuine even mean, Joseph?
Would you like the Oxford Dictionary definition, sir, or would you like my opinion on the matter?
You're not a dictionary, Joseph.
Well, some days I wish I was. My life would be so much easier. A very, very determined purpose. Get to lie about all day. I wouldn't have to...
Get to your point, Joseph.
Yes, absolutely. I find that you have put in your time, sir, a lot of stock in the bonds that you have formed with this group, but you have known other groups before, and you have felt as strongly about them as you do these particular Canaanites. You have been kicking about for quite some time now, and, well, if this bond between you is not one that would exist were it not to be artificially created through this ritual, what is the point, then, of this dedication to them?
It's all we have, Joseph. It's the only thing that lasts eternity, is this brotherhood, this sanctity. It is what we can look forward to night after night. There's only the moment, Joseph. making those moments true, making those moments mean anything. I have to have faith, and I have to feel that bond. Or else, what else am I? That way lies madness and oblivion. I can contemplate eternity and go mad, or I can live in the now with my brothers and sisters and accept those which pass away had their time, as I will have mine.
Admittedly, it would be terrible, wouldn't it, sir, to be forced to spend the rest of your life alone contemplating eternity and slowly going mad.
What do you think has happened to all those elders we hate?
Well, they've certainly built up quite an appetite.
Their appetites and their solitude drives them mad, while Cain blesses us with union. It's not artificial. It is ritual. It is belief. You could say love is artificial. It's just a mix of hormones and neurochemicals. You could say all sorts of things are artificial. But it is, and it keeps me going. And it keeps others alive. Or if not alive, at least it gives their deaths meaning. That's the problem, Joseph. We're eternal. And on a long enough timeline, every sacrifice is meaningless. So we can't think about that, can we?
As you say this last line, you realize you've pulled out the glass cross belonging to Anabelle. The one that she put in your mouth before she fed you her blood to turn you. Your retainer is not there, of course. The sandwich is where it was, and so is the plate, but you're holding that crucifix. Kellen. There was a moment a few months ago. You had almost forgotten it, but as you were running tonight, heading towards, hopefully, some of the people who had been involved in Asher's death, it came back to you. Quebec City. You remember finding Asher on the rooftop of the building where he'd been staying just before sunup, standing out there, looking out over the old city of Quebec. One, if not the oldest city in all of North America. The old city itself, with the castle, Chateau Frontenac, laid out in front of you, below you, this history of an entire continent originating from this point. Well, at least as far as the most recent history books would have it. The history of things goes back so much further than what the books tell us. This land was alive long before anyone set foot on it, and it certainly was alive long before the French set foot on it to colonize it. And you know that Asher's connection to that natural world, to the world that was before any humans set foot on it, any kindred, any werewolves, anything else set foot on it, is very strong. And you find him there. And he says as you arrive on the rooftop, I hope you're not too worried. I just like to imagine what it would be like. I don't have a desire for it, but I also have less and less of a desire for this life we lead now.
What do you mean this life is everything?
It was. But I find myself growing tired of the endless cycle. I don't mind the violence per se, but it's the endless cycle of it that is weighing on me now. Don't you feel that?
Kellen will walk up to stand beside him and cross their arms, look out over the city. If I'm being honest, it is the violence, that fight, that keeps me going. You know what I am, my love. The rage that fills me. It must be satiated.
That's the problem. I find your life has become this minuscule thing, this one narrow thing. It is simply now about satiating this need so that it doesn't consume you. There's not much room for anything else. You don't find that confining, you of all people?
Do you mean there's not room for much else? There's plenty of room for you.
And I appreciate that. But I find myself being pushed to the edges more and more as the blood in your vein grows more potent, so too does what it contains.
This blood is a gift, Asher. We, all of us, all of Cain's children, have been given the chance to be everything.
And yet we are nothing but one thing. An organism that just fights to satisfy itself and to stay alive over and over and over and over and over and over again. Every decision bent to that single purpose.
And how are we different from the creatures you revere so well? Is that not what they do? They fight, they feed, they fuck. They live for the sheer pleasure of it because they can. What else do you need? We are mighty We can drink this world to its marrow, and there's nothing that can stop us.
We are mighty. We can drink this world to the very marrow, but we cannot walk away from this. What use is all this power, all this rage, if we cannot simply get in a car and drive away? There's change in the air, Kellen. I'm worried, I guess, that whatever new direction things take, I will not like. We either become more human or more bestial, and there's no mistaking which way the Sabbat will go. There's a turning point here, and I find myself confused and not a little afraid. And I'm uncertain of so much.
Is that what you want? To find a car to drive until we can't drive anymore?
Asher turns towards you and kneels down. They lift up your shirt and put their cold, cold cheek up against your hard stomach and wrap their arms around you. I belong to you. I go where you go. Trees grow only in one direction, from the soil out, the soil that holds them stable and nourishes them. You're the soil in which I grow. That is the one thing I am sure of.
That is the problem as we get older. We change less. It's like watching someone turn to marble. And Kellen will take Asher's face in their hands and tilt it up so she can look into their eyes. I have no heart left. Neither of us do. Or what we do have, we'll never beat again. But it is yours regardless, darling.
Asher smiles, kisses your stomach, and puts the head back down there, and just holds you tighter for a moment. You are all in the room. Miriam is gone, trapped somewhere. The events and memories of the past few hours, the past few days, are now all a jumble, a mix of thoughts and emotions, some disjointed, some that seem to connect and make sense somehow. You can still hear the helicopter in the distance. It doesn't seem to have gotten closer. You hear the shuffling in the kitchen. You think of the ones you've lost. Asher and Cholera. Possibly now Miriam. Possibly now Clovis. There will likely be less of you alive than there are dead by the time the sun comes up. But for now, there are the three of you and Clovis and a giant, rotten, fury Latin beasts. And Alexander, it's your move.
I get between Kellen and Prudence, my knife drawn, and stare at Prudence, or this thing that was Prudence.
You do or say anything, or you just stand there defiant?
I stand there defiant.
At 3, Clovis and Meadow will go. What is your dexterity, Meadow? Sorry, Roz.
I have 2.
The same as Clovis. You will act at the same time then. So this is what we'll do. Describe what you want to do. I will then describe what I want to do, and if you want to amend what you're doing based on my description, you can.
What I want to do is stand in front of Alexander facing Prudence. Not because I think Alexander can't handle himself, but because he is my leader. I need him to be able to lead. So I stand in front just in case.
You, Kellen, are holding Clovis. You see him calculate quickly. You've seen him do things before. You know that it's probably feasible for him to get out of this grasp. And you see him thinking about that. And then you see his eyes harden as he realizes that there's really not much of an escape for him. Zombie ate my name. Thank you very much for that donation of bits. Everyone gets a night move.
Yeehaw.
You can see him coming to a realization and a decision. And he looks at you and smiles. And behind him, up in the corner, you hear bones snap as his tendrils break Loran. And he looks at you and says, "Break the pack." And Kellen, it is your action.
I'm gonna diablerize the son of a bitch because the pack leader told me to.
You bite into his neck and drag him down into the ground. He is going to fight even though he doesn't really want to, because when you get to that point. So I'm going to have you make a test here. You're going to do a strength and what would make sense?
Strength and brawl?
Yeah, I was looking for something slightly different, but yeah, let's do strength and brawl. That's fine.
That's gonna be a lot of dice for me. Because it's also grappling's my specialty. Okay, that is 5 successes, but I'm gonna spend a willpower because I want to crit fish.
Go for it.
What did you
crit
do?
fishing turn bad?
No, that's 10 with a crit.
You sink your fangs into him. This is not the first time you have committed diablerie. You begin to pull at him, the blood rushing and gushing inside your mouth. You know you're in for a bit of a job, but you're feeling
It's
strong.
gonna kick me in the teeth.
You are feeling good about it. Describe for me the feeling that is going through Kellen's body as she begins to diablerize Clovis.
As you said, storyteller, it's not the first time. When a member of the Sabbat proves weak, when they prove that they are not worthy of the gifts that Cain has given them, well, that blood needs to be returned to the pack. So it is my duty to take what Clovis was so ill-equipped for. And Vitae has always been different than the blood of the cattle. It is cold. It is thicker. But the power in it. Kellen hasn't had anything to drink, like really drink in a long time, besides blood. But the sensation feels like champagne bubbles dancing on the tongue. The sparks of power that go into the mouth, over the tongue, down the throat, and into the gullet that no longer really works. And you know what? I will even throw a brutal feed on that if I have to. Yep. Yeah, no, we'll brutal fleet it too.
As you savage him, as you rip through his throat, as you start drinking his blood, his vitae spreads all over, I'm going to ask Alexander and Ross to make Rouse checks as the scent of this fairly potent vitae is filling the room and reaching you and tickling that little beast that lives inside of you that does so enjoy feeding on other kindred blood.
My blood is not roused.
I succeeded.
Excellent business. The scent of the blood fills the room as Kellen just positively rips into Clovis. You back up to the top at 5. You watch as the Krynos form of Prudence takes in what is going on, sniffs the air, looks at the two of you standing in front of your packmate. There is a moment, Alexander and Roz, where you see the depths of madness and depredation and darkness that are in every Black Spiral dancer's eyes. For all his talk of nothingness and the void, Clovis was ignorant of the true meaning that the Black Spirals discover in their worship of the worm. You can see that there is literally nothing that could shock or stop or phase or affect this beast. It's beyond any sense of what you might call rationale or logic, even within the context of what the Sabbat understands. There is an alienness to her presence. And for a moment, you see she is contemplating just destroying all of you. And you can see that she's making that decision. What do you wish to do, Alexander?
I look at this creature straight in the face. I tighten my grip on my knife, and I say to it, "You better be sure."
She stands there evaluating, looking at you. Behind you, the wet crunching sounds of Kellen finishing off Clovis create this strange little macabre symphony as you stare down at this incredible machine of death. Roz, what do you do?
One sub note.
Yes.
I activate Daunt.
Okay.
I have not moved. All of my muscles are tense as if waiting to strike back. She's not going to strike first. Alexander has this sort of in hand. I say out loud, "She said she was here to help. We might need to follow her as close as we can to Annabelle. I see your bottles all around the house, Alexander. Do you want me to make it go boom?"
Go.
Gone.
You step up. The Krynos is still in the doorway. And you step up to her, and she looks down, and the slaver that is dripping from her mouth is this thick, grayish mixture that just sort of hangs in long strands. There's almost no trace of the woman that you looked at and talked to earlier. Just that same feeling of alienness that is now made even more palpable. And she looks down and stares at you.
I think Roz thinks this is what she must look like to humans. And she kind of tilts her head and then says, "If we're gonna have that conversation later, you're gonna need to move."
And you can see the gears turning still in her head. And you can actually see that there is quite a conflict going on there. There's a natural reaction to things that is something else is trying to tamper. And she raises her hand, her long, gnarled fingers tipped with these jet black claws. And she slowly reaches to you. And with the tip of one of her claws, slowly pushes a strand of your hair back over your ear, drawing a line across your flesh that draws the minutest amount of blood. And she tucks the hair back behind your ear, and this long, furry finger pulls back along the lower jaw. She steps back.
I genuinely feel like I want to wipe my own blood away, which has never been an instinct for me. So I think Roz just nods, like understanding that that was a decision that she made. And I go, "Beautiful." And I do not know if I'm talking about her or about the fact that I can keep doing what I need to do, but I do bolt. I am the fastest I've ever been. I'm like moving past, shuffling bodies and everything to get to Alexander's concoctions.
The Krynos looks at you, Alexander, and in this deep, rumbling voice that seems to come from the abyss itself says, "Go fast." And you see her start to shift back down as she walks away down the corridor.
I look at Kellen and realize she's going as fast as we can go.
Kellen is a starving person at a buffet. Kellen
like the
has
goddamn
no
juice
idea.
box.
Yeah, Kellen has no idea what's going on. The house could be on fire. Kellen is inside Clovis right now,
For hunger.
just eating him to bits. And as you watch this, and as you watch Clovis absolutely dead, starting to turn to ash, you see in the corner the arms let go of Lauren's body. It falls to the ground. It ragdolls like a puppet whose strings have been cut. Onto the ground, she just collapses. And
Is
you
there
realize
any sign of anything happening with the door?
the door is exactly the same as it was before. It looks like a black shadow of a door painted on the wall with some blood on it.
I step over the body, walk over the door. Alexander reaches out and puts his palm against the door briefly. He considers it for just a moment. He remembers old things that he was forced to learn when he was a young man, and whispers, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. A tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury. He doesn't finish the line and steps away. Kellen, are we done?
Kellen,
I don't know, storyteller.
you're going to have to give me a rouse check, Kellen, just to see if you can pull yourself together and away from this feast.
Oh, I'm not stopping until it's done.
Oh, no, it's done, but I want to see if you're in control of yourself when it's done.
Nope.
Do you wish to use some night moves that have been gifted to you to...
Actually, yeah, no, let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and use that.
You can,
so I can get the fuck
spend,
out of here.
Yeah, you can spend 2 night moves. And
yeah.
You see, Alexander, when Kellen turns to you, that for a moment there, Kellen is looking at dessert.
It's like watching a shark in the middle of a blood frenzy. Those like black, dead eyes.
I stare right back and say, you better be sure. We've had that fight once before.
Yeah, and we're both still standing. There's a bit of, like, tiny grin. Teeny grin.
I've always been merciful. Let's get going.
Actually, there's probably no point in wiping my mouth because it's just like from the nose down. Just
You
stretched.
Walk back into the kitchen. You find 5 of the humans that were outside who are no longer humans, who are standing there looking at you with blank eyes. The others are still in the driveway, unmoving. The helicopter sounds are getting closer. You now get the sense that they were probably doing a search pattern and are slowly, in a spiral, getting closer to where you are.
We definitely need to go because those bodies in the driveway are going to draw some serious attention.
Roz, is it mixed?
Roz, is it mixed? How about, Roz, you give me a little roll to see whether you succeed at this or just blow everyone up to smithereens. You're going to roll your intelligence plus, what did I make you roll earlier? Your larceny?
Larceny or technology?
Yeah, larceny or technology plus your intelligence.
Now, I'm asking because I'm a sneaky little shit.
Yeah.
My specialty is demolitions and science. Could I roll that instead of technology?
Yeah. You can even use some night moves if you want to give yourself an extra couple dice.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Spend the night move, get a couple extra dice.
Get it.
Yeah, we're definitely doing that. Absolutely.
Blow this place to hell.
Okay. Let's go. Please. I'm begging you. Please don't let me blow up.
Don't
Yeah! Wait, how many do I need?
Hey, motherfucker. Also, you can always willpower reroll if you want to.
I got 3 successes. Do I need to willpower it?
Do it.
I'm gonna.
This one's for all the marbles, man.
It's all of the marbles.
Go big or go home.
Okay.
Yup.
God, please. I just want to save my friends.
My horrible, monstrous, murderous friends.
The pack that slaughters together?
It's gotta. Boom. Okay. Period. Okay, so that's 6 successes.
Any of them onks with little pips on them?
Little pips. Yes, one.
Yeah. All right. Just checking in case you had a critical, monstrous critical. You remember all those times, Roz, that you were attempting to do a ritual or perform some task that Aster had laid before you, and you remember every time that it wasn't done exactly to his exact specification, there would be some form of well, there would be disappointment, which was worse than any punishment you might have received. And you learned very quickly that to do things to the utmost of your ability the first time around is the only thing that matters. Getting it 10 times later doesn't matter. Getting it right the first time is what matters. And as you're playing around with Alexander's concoction, which is completely all over the place, and you have no real clue what he did or how he concocted all of this together, and you're kind of afraid a little bit, you realize that one false move means that everything you've done, everything would be gone, and that this second chance that you got when Aster embraced you would have been completely wasted. And you can picture him in his study learning of this, and you can feel the disappointment that would radiate from him, and knowing how you had squandered this opportunity he'd given you. And so you do it right the first time.
If I may.
Yes.
I think as my hands, they're not shaking, but they're hesitating. And Roz is not much of a hesitator, which is enough of a sign. And thinking of Aster and thinking of Alexander, and then finally of Clovis and how disappointed she is in Clovis. She hisses and she's like, I will not be mediocre and scared. And she just dumps it together and runs upstairs and goes, I think we have to go now.
Thank you, Raiders. We got a couple of raids just now that just flew by, and I think thank you so much for coming in. You're coming in at a very tense moment in our little Sabbat game. This is a game of Vampire the Masquerade Sabbat. It does deal with mature themes, so please do decide for yourself if that's something you want to watch. We hope you'll hang out, but please do take that into consideration. You run upstairs, you see this. What did the rest of you do?
Car, now.
Yep.
You head outside. You realize there's going to be one problem. The cars are in the garage and there's about 20 bodies in the driveway.
Have you met me?
Sounds like a problem for those bodies.
You are relieved when you open up the garage and find there is a small car there, but also a nice big pickup truck that will certainly not have too much issue driving over the bodies. You pile up in the car. As the three of you climb in the car, the 5 others that you have embraced climb in the back. You realize you're going to have to do something about them soon enough, but as you sit there and turn over the car and it starts right away, this guy took great care of his vehicle. Where are you going?
Am I still feeling that pull?
You are.
Towards that.
I pull a tarp over our new friends. If there's a chopper, I don't need anyone seeing them from above.
Yeah, a bunch of naked folks in the backseat. Just...
The car turns over, starts. You can tell that Alexander's got something in mind. You know the hunters are coming. The helicopter is sounding closer and closer. You have no clue what the Black Pyramid's about. You have no clue who sent these people. You have no clue what happened to Turk. You watch as Prudence comes walking slowly down the driveway, stepping over the bodies. You notice that she doesn't appear to have that Guru ritual that allows you to keep your clothes. So when you transform, so she is wearing ripped up remains of her clothing, and she slowly comes down, comes up to the side of the truck, knocks on the window.
I roll it down. We're on a tight schedule.
Then let me in.
Get in.
You open the door. She comes in, sits down, looks at you, Roz, winks.
Roz, who's also sitting in the back, draws a smiley face on the frosted window of the back of the pickup truck.
You started the car. Is there anything you want to say or do before this vehicle takes off for whatever awaits it?
Come along. We're going to kill an old friend.
Sounds fun.
You hit the gas. The truck makes very easy work of climbing over the bodies that are in the driveway. You kill a few of them for sure. You pull out into the road. You know you got about, maybe at this point, an hour and a half left before sun up. You're going to have to find a place to go to ground very, very soon. You don't really know Montreal. You're feeling that pull, but for all you know, it could be taking you God knows where. So you know you need to find a place. You know that the world around you is changing. You know that the Sabbat, whatever you may think or feel, is dying. You know that the old ways are passing and are gone. Whatever lies ahead of you, you'll have to make for yourself. Miriam, you are in complete darkness. Even your thoughts at this point won't come find you. You try to remember Laurent's face, but you can't after a while. You try to remember the names and the faces of your packmates. The last one to fade away is Alexander, but in time it too is absorbed by the darkness. You have never felt so alone in your entire life. You don't even know what's become of Laurent at this point, or the rest of them. You don't even know how long you've been here. There's hunger gnawing at your belly. What's going through your head?
nothing.
Suddenly, you feel things shift around you. You feel something grab your collar, pull you. You come stumbling out of the darkness. You fall on the ground in the room. You are lying in the remnants of what appears to be Clovis. There's blood everywhere.
Light.
You smell decomposition like a dead body. What do you do?
There was nothing, and now there's everything again. Miriam's very disoriented. The light hurts. It's the smell. Everything is too much. She's pressing the palms of her hands to her eyes. By the time she's like properly looking around, I think it's been a minute or two, and she's blinking harshly. Is anyone here with her?
No, but as you stand up and look around, you notice the several days old body of Loran in the corner, broken.
She goes to take a step forward towards Loren, but stops. That's just a body now. It's not her anymore. It's just a corpse. Whatever made Loren is gone. It's been gone for days, just like I've been gone for days in a pit of nothing. And there was nothing I could do. She just died. She just died. And something snaps inside of Miriam. There's nothing tying her to this place anymore.
You need more time. I can give you more time if you need more time.
I need to eat.
Well, I don't think there is much for you to eat here. But I am sure we can find something. You realize that there's someone leaning in the doorway of the room. You turn. You realize he's human.
I thought you said there wasn't much for me to eat here.
Well, I certainly hoped that you won't consider me a snack after I just helped you out of your little predicament.
You? Who are you?
Come, I will tell you. I have been here a very long time, and there is still the Black Pyramid that awaits us.
She thinks back the faces of her pack re-emerging in her mind now that she's free of the nothing. All of them left her behind. Not even Alexander stayed. So Miriam feels almost the same as she did that night she crawled out of that grave, alone and in need of guidance. And so hungry. So she follows this man.
As you approach, he turns around and leads you out of the house. You walk into the kitchen. You find another kindred standing there, another man. You don't recognize him. As you follow the human into the kitchen, he turns around and goes, I'm sorry, I do not think I know your name.
Miriam.
Ah, Miriam. C'est joli ce nom. My name is Rinaldo des Trois Échelles. I was once the French king's favorite sorcerer, but that was a long time ago. Now I tend to long gestating sufferances of mine. I would like your help, Miriam. But first, let's get you fed. Oh, and for the record, he points to the kindred that's there. I am not the one who got you out of the room, he is. The one who was here did not have the power to do what he did. My friend did it for him, but I convinced him to release you. The other person that's there, the kindred, comes forward and says, my name is Pierre Vico. Pleasure to meet you, Miriam.
Thank you, I think.
Well, wait till you hear what we have to ask you before you thank us. Now come on, let's go get you something to eat.
Okay.
And as you step out of the house with them, you realize that it's a few moments before sunup. The bodies in the driveway have been crushed by a vehicle. They are not decomposed, they have not been picked up. There's a helicopter that is approaching somewhere nearby. You get the sense that no time has passed. And as you walk away from the house and get into a car, you hear a slight detonation. The ground shakes, and as you pull away, the house goes up in flames, burning away any trace that you, your pack, and Laurent had ever been there. A burning pyre that consumes everything that you left behind. And that, my friends, will conclude our little story of the Sabbat over here on Folk&Myth.